Okay, so this is podcast episode season 2, episode 15, AUSNZ Community Podcast.
The concentration on your face was amazing, mate. Just to do the intro.
I haven't started yet. I'm psyching myself up, all right? Psyching myself up. This is terrible. Now I'm going to get constructive criticism from someone sitting next to me who's literally looking at me and laughing his head off, right? This is not fun. All right, so here we go. Yeah, he just popped a vein.
I think we
He just popped a vein in his forehead.
We just found the title.
He just popped a vein in his forehead. He was concentrating so hard, right?
I'd like to see a video.
The title of this episode.
This is going to be fun. All right, so here we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. This episode is going to be quite a special episode. We have put together a mix of people who have a very different perspective on the game, with different GPs, different abilities, different concepts of what the game means to them. And we'd like to hear from them specifically about Mastery and where they're at with the sports car, what they think of Mastery so far, and more so about the update itself.
All the changes
as well.
Yeah, there's lots of changes.
So we'll concentrate mostly on Mastery, because I think there's a lot of people talking about it at the moment. We wanted to get the perspective of the broader range of people, not just high-end players, not just low-end players, not high GP, low GP, elite players and, beginner players. We wanted to get a really good spectrum of all of that. So then we could, put something together and say, we've looked at this from a lot of different perspectives and, we want to hear what people have to say about it. So welcome to the podcast, Pete and JR.
Thank you very much.
And
glad to be here.
And just to make matters interesting, we have, as I said, a mixed bag of people, and I'll introduce them one at a time. Some of them have been on the podcast before. I'll go through them first. So welcome, Creeperz.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
It's great to hear your voice again. Welcome back.
Welcome
back, Goose.
Thanks for the invitation. Great to be back. It's been a while.
And I still can't get over the male escort, but that's another story. Welcome back, Lunatic.
Very well.
And a very special guest who's actually sitting next to me in this room. Welcome back, Mori.
Thanks. It's good to be back. And I don't know whether to take offense during that introduction. When he was talking about the different levels and he was saying, from high-end players to beginners to high GP to low GP, for the beginners and low GP, he was gesturing to me. I don't know if that was meant to be or it was just his, but Eva does actually talk with his hands, by the way.
Well, the reason I was gesturing to you is because you have more than one account.
Yep.
So you have a high GP account and you have a low GP account.
Yeah, it's not very low.
Not very low G. It's middle. It's not even middle of the road. So the other two people we have on have not been on before. So these guys play on one of the AUSNZ teams. AUSNZ 3. Yep, AUSNZ 3.
Yes.
So they play with JR and Pete on the team. Welcome to the podcast, The Big Bam.
Hey, thanks
Good
for
to
having
have
me.
you on. And welcome
on.
And welcome to the podcast, The Biggest Fan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
He's also known as Kiwi in Team 3.
So,
yes.
Yes.
You can call him that.
Unfortunately, JR was the biggest fan. Also
yeah.
also known as the podcast cheerleader. And now we've got another this is Track's biggest fan. So welcome, Kiwi. So yeah, like I said, we wanted to talk a little bit about Mastery. We wanted to talk a little bit about the update. So I suppose let's start with what do you like about the update?
Mate, say who's my biggest fan?
I reckon Mori's your biggest fan.
How about what's
Mad
in
Max.
the update?
Mad Max is your biggest fan.
Well, we could probably talk about what is in the update. To start with, we have kind of brushed over that in the last episode, but I will read off the notes from the news article in
Fingersoft.
the Fingersoft patch notes. So this is for patch notes for V1.61. So please note, new vehicle feature, vehicle mastery, which is what we're about to talk about. It is it is only available to fully upgraded vehicles, so 2020, 2020. It allows you to progress using a new currency called XP points. XP points are accumulated by using the vehicle. And once you open these 4 separate extra mastery points, you'll get more power. You're effectively buffing the vehicle. And then the last of these XP points will open a 4th part slot for the vehicle. They're going to be opened in staggered releases, so you don't have to do mastery for every single car all at once. There is a new level theme called Savannah. There's a couple of new cups: the Jungle Break, A Bit Plain, Races in the Mist. Vehicle chests have been updated, so you get better vehicle chests for both specific chests and daily updates and distance tasks. You get a cup chest for every finishing position, no longer just position 1. They've removed the tickets from Forest Trials, Intense City, and Raging Winter, and as always, various bug fixes. So that was the update. Obviously, there's lots to go through, but let's start on a positive. What does everybody like about these updates?
I'm actually enjoying the cups for every finish, or the chests for every finish. That was something took me by surprise, because I was like, I finished last, and I got a chest. What the hell?
I was actually having a bit of a test with that today, and it looks like if you get last place, you only get a common chest. I did it about 10 times in a row, and it was always common. But if you get anything above that, it goes by the original cycle of chests. 3 commons, 1 epic, 4 commons, 1.
A chest is still a chest, whether it's common or the
exactly right
very good ones. Yeah.
And something else that I've noticed, as you're doing the task-specific chests, you actually get the chest for that vehicle if you have to use it. I.e., if you're doing, say, do 6 flips with a super diesel, you get a super diesel chest.
That was.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I hadn't
that
noticed
was actually in there. If it's actually got the little symbol of the vehicle there, you'll get those parts for that vehicle only, which is really good as well.
Anyone else pick up on anything that they like about the update?
For me,
I like the new safari track. Is that called safari?
Savannah.
Yeah.
Savannah.
Yeah.
It's all brown.
Yeah, me too. I like the fact that there's a new terrain and just the different challenges that they can provide.
And new animals. There's not cows everywhere.
Who's seen the hidden baboon?
Yeah, the baboon from the Lion King, Mufasa. Instead, this guy's name is Move Faster.
Yeah, we're probably not allowed to call it a Mufasa.
No, it'll be something else.
No, it's Move Faster.
No, Disney would be honest in some bricks.
Maybe it's called Jeep.
with 3 E's and 2 P's.
Can't say that
No.
either. Spelt with a G instead of a J.
Yeah, well, depending on which language the game is in, G and J are the same letter anyway.
That's a good point.
Ask someone about how many gigabytes. If you speak to a guy in Italy about how many gigabytes something is, and they'll say it's gigabytes. Yeah,
No.
it's gigabytes.
That's wrong.
No,
That's not right. That's
Terrible.
Yeah.
it is. The first time someone said it to me, I was like, "What? What language are you talking?"
The other one for that, just going back to the removing the tickets for the harder ones, the Skyrocket outpost. Am I right that there is only one ticket you get a day?
Yeah, one ticket a day.
So it's reduced from 4 to 1.
Yeah. Now the thing with that was,
well, just quickly on that, I still had 4 tickets.
Yes.
Because I don't
Same.
play it very often. But it was 4 of 1.
Yeah. And then what you do is once you won them,
and then it went to 3 of
and then
1.
when you round them down, you'll only get one a day. Yep.
Yes. Or you can purchase a new one for 15
Yes.
gems.
Yeah.
Or a special ticket, but who would do that? Because they're way too valuable.
It makes sense. They're removing because it was 4 for 4 tracks.
4 for 4 tracks.
And now it's just 1 for that. So it's I think that's fair, and
I must say it has made me play the forest trial a whole lot more, because I was working very hard on the forest trial for a while, using my free tickets per day all on forest trial, just trying to get some extra stars. So yeah, very interesting. I did like that part of the update, because I understand why they did it for the moon, but those other 3 tracks were just diabolical.
it was always painful when you had to drive 600 meters on one of those tracks and you get 200, and then you try the next time and you get 100, and then you try the next time and you're like going, I've got 1 ticket left, I just need 50 meters, can I do it?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The Big Bam, did you have any positives from the update?
Yeah, the main thing's just the tickets and the special maps. Make them a lot easier to play. I don't have to worry about hitting my head on every little thing.
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Goose, you've been a bit quiet. What about you?
I did mention about the track specific with the tasks.
Oh, of course. Yes, you did. Sorry, I did hear that. I wasn't ignoring you.
You just forgot that I said it. Yeah,
I did forget you said it, but that's all right. I'll edit that later. So yeah.
What about Creeperz?
Jackrabbit.
Creeperz, you go ahead. Yeah. Creeperz, you go ahead.
Yeah, I really like that there's a new way to level up vehicles, or a new form of progression in the game. Because I've been playing the game for 7, 8 years now, and it's starting to get a bit monotonous and really same, and gives me something else to work towards.
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard about the mastery, and before any of the actual, working out what it physically meant for us to do, I was also quite, I was really excited about it, because it was, like you, I've been playing the game for a while, and it was something to do, something to pick up the game again for. And did it work? Yes, I picked up the game and I played lots and lots of cups, lots of moon adventure with the sports car. But it was a long, hard slog, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Has anyone here actually got the 4th level of mastery yet?
I did about 6 hours ago. So I've had a little bit of a play around.
So it's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
How's the how's the change in usability of the fourth part? Is it harder, easier?
Maybe a little bit easier, but it also adds so much more freedom in what you can use with it or put on it, and yeah, so much more choice.
Mm.
Yeah,
But in
nice.
adventure, if you want to use the Kanga setup, you can add fume boost or coin boost, and you can just go a little bit faster or get to that next fuel a bit easier. Yeah, I like it.
I have
Nice.
my vehicle. I have the fourth part on the sports car. Got it about 2 weeks ago. So I did a huge grind for a week and a half. And did the double XPs with the extra, using coins and stuff. So didn't grind as much as I suppose I could have. But I was using gems to buy the extra XP points. My interpretation of the fourth part is, and the buffs is, it's been good. It makes the car better, but it's not. I didn't think it was enough. I didn't think the buffing was enough. I think they could have gone a little better on the buffing, but I suppose they're also protecting the fact that with the buffing comes the fourth part, and the fourth part can kind of change the game. So
yeah, there's been a lot of talk about like world records being reset, basically, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Well, look, I redid all of my adventure records with the car, with the sports car, but I attacked them from a different perspective because my Kanga ability is next to nothing. Instead of using Kanga and coin or Kanga and fume or Kanga and wheelie boost, I used the fourth part slot for something else. I did coin, magnet, wings, and fume, and added, just as it was like that, I added probably 2,000 to 3,000 stars for every map that I had.
Nice.
Mind you, most of my maps were down at the 3,500, 4,000 mark. So I've got them all above 6 or 7.
And how many hours did it actually take you to do that grind to get that fourth part?
I honestly, I should have recorded it, but I should have got a better idea of what I was doing, but I didn't. It was playing the game probably 2 to 3 hours a night for about a week and a half. And my strategy was a mixture of doing all my cups with the car, and not actually trying to win the cups, but just doing lots of spinning and boosting and round, tricks and all that sort of stuff. And I was averaging about 600 to 700 XP points per cup. And of course, I was doubling that with the double XP points. And then once a day, I would do the moon map using Kanga setup. And I was doing like trying to get max distance on the car. I managed to my new best distance on that map now is with the sports car, because I started mastering the map, not the car. And I was averaging about 6,000 or 7,000 XP points on a 4K run.
Just going back to what you said about increasing your stars per, like, overall, I've noticed that while I've been doing this, because the way I haven't gotten all 4, I've only gotten 1.5, but I have been getting better at a sports car and those things that you don't normally do. Now I am only running Kanga for everything, so it's just Kanga. And adventure now I'm getting a little bit further. Like I add a couple of stars every time I run now. Well, maybe not every time, but do you think your fourth part would have helped you improved, or you would have just improved because you've gone back and looked at it after playing the car for so long?
I think it's probably a bit of both. You're probably right. It is a bit of both. But in saying that, my biggest problem was I couldn't canter up hills. Still can't. And the only way for me to I think with the Countryside Cup, I was managing to just make it on fume boost to the next fuel with that fume coin wings magnet setup. And I managed to go from fuel to fuel probably I reckon I got 5 fuels in a row, which I basically rolled into and the magnet grabbed the next fuel. So, I would never have made it without the fume and magnet, because I didn't actually touch the fuel. I got the fuel because of magnet as I was rolling up a hill type thing. So in saying that, it is a bit of both. It is understanding how the car's dynamics are working a little bit better.
Oh, I agree that having a fourth part will make a difference. For that example, I mean, for team events, I can see it being a real game changer for the top teams. But for your normal gameplay, I think just playing the vehicle makes a difference.
What about you, Creeperz?
What about the fourth part?
Sure.
Yeah, I haven't had much time to play with it, but yeah, similar to you, but with the Kanga setup, yeah, I've used normally fume boost, and I find it easier, like when you're really low on fuel, like you can get to the next fuel much easier. Like often, just the landing boost alone, like you won't quite get enough speed. But the fume boost, it also allows you to have better acceleration. Like if you're stuck on a hill, and being able to accelerate up the hill much easier.
Yeah, see, I won't ask Creeperz if he think he
I'm
improved.
curious to know what was.
Sorry, Pete. I won't ask Creeperz if he think he improved, because he's already a good player.
I've still got plenty of room for improvement on many
That
maps.
was a digger, Eva.
Particularly with the sports car.
I could see it. I could see it across the room. The daggers were flying straight at me. But I mean, and
I'm curious to know, Creeperz, what was your strategy to gain XP? Were you strictly adventure or cups or a mix of both?
I was a whole range of things. Like I'd run a few cups normally that win 10 races, and that gets a few, and then I'd do like 1 or 2 moon runs with a whole heap of flipping. I'd use jump shocks, wings, flip boost, and I'd do a heap of flips. Or if I wanted to do more distance, I'd use Kanga. Like you can still do good flips with Kanga. And another map is the beach. The beach is good because there are lots of pointy areas in it. Yeah, pointy hills, and like with one wheel still on the hill, you can flip and you can do like 2 or 3 at a time in some areas.
Would you guys do this again?
Yeah, and there are a few challenges posted like in various places of moon stunts, like with the sports car, and I did a few of those. But
Don't
a
they
whole
count,
range
do
of
they,
things.
on challenges?
Yeah, everything you use the sports car with counts. That could be team events, the community showcase, cups, adventure, everything.
Community showcase.
That's good, because
I never tried the community showcase. What sort of points were you getting at a community showcase?
Lately, they've been ridiculously hard, and so I wouldn't necessarily finish them. I'd use 5 tickets, and I'd get maybe 700 XP.
Yeah.
So not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you're just getting XP
every bit
for
counts.
the tricks that you do. Because they have been hard, you can't get a good place because everyone else is using either the muscle car or something else that's just completely faster. So you don't get a good place. But once you do get a good place with it, that's where you get some decent XP.
Yeah, some of them I didn't even finish, and you still get the XP. So I wonder if it has something to do with like how much you use it, or if you get a certain amount of XP per try. I'd be interested to know more how that works.
Yeah. Well, every time I looked at the community thing, I went, yeah, that's going to be really hard. I won't get anywhere finishing. And I thought, no, I'll just either finish it with the muscle car and get some points, or not just not do it at all.
I do love doing the community tracks. Just a little bit disconcerting, or not disconcerting. It's a bit sad that you don't get team kilometers towards the team chest when running the community tracks. So it sort of makes me a little bit sad.
You'd say the same about any challenge you do as well. You don't get XP, or you don't get distance that goes onto your team chest that you get for your weekly chest.
Yeah, a little bit of a downer on the whole situation, but I like the fact that you can get replays for only 1 gem. Or is it 1 gem?
Yeah,
it's 1 gem per attempt.
Yep.
So you can do that on a moon map challenge instead of spending the extra 15 gems to get a new ticket on adventure.
Maybe we shouldn't.
That's a good strategy.
Maybe we
I like
shouldn't
that.
let Fingersoft know about that.
I'm sure they know.
The Big Bam, have you started your mastery journey or not?
I've maxed out sports car, but I've got something like 10,000 XP. It's just too painful for me to drive.
Yeah, fair enough. So you've maxed out 2020. And you're at 10k XP on the first challenge.
Yeah, the first challenge. I just can't bring myself to do flips and cups.
You're a tenth of the way through the first.
So the Big Bam's looking forward to all
one.
vehicles having mastery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did this update make you get the 2020, or did you have it previously?
Yep. No, I got it because of the update.
And what's your current GP roughly?
6,600.
Okay. Right. Cool. And this is an honest question. How often would you have driven the sports car had it not been for mastery?
1 time on each map, probably.
So you wouldn't have used it in cups. You wouldn't have used it in
adventure.
You only have used it in adventure to drive for stars. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, Big Bam is the hardest grinder in Team 3.
There you go.
He's earned like the top spot in kilometer grinders in the past season. So,
but not with the sports car.
Have you been using sports car to earn XP when you're grinding?
I've been trying my best. That's I got 15,000. I think it is.
Has anyone got lower than? The Big Bam?
I was just about to ask. Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
So, what about you? Where are you in mastery track?
I think I'm at like 12,000. 12,000. It's just I think getting mastery, like the idea of it, sort of helped me push to get like all my other vehicles fully upgraded. Like I already had my sports car fully upgraded before the update, but it's like now realizing the potential for the other vehicles. Like the Big Bam, I barely use the sports car, so but the potential's there.
And what's your GP currently?
Oh, that's a great question. I think 6,000.
6.4 when I last checked.
Here we go. I haven't checked in a while.
So, can I ask you about your GP, and do you update your GP for team events, or do you update your GP because you're progressing in the game?
I'd say a bit of both. like for team events, obviously, whatever vehicles I'm using, I'm going to focus on them first, with regards to upgrading. But what I'll do is I'll focus on the 4 main, getting the 2020s before I go to the actual parts themselves.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I prioritize currently.
Fair enough.
I'm just looking at the
AUSNZ 3 wrong team.
No, I'm looking at the update, and I didn't realize you could see the garage power.
It's been 2 updates.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't look at it very often. Because I was actually going to check what my alt was because I couldn't quite remember.
Yeah.
But for me, I actually did what the biggest fan did, was updated all my vehicles and went through, and because I hadn't maxed them out on my alt, and I went through and went, oh, I've got to update this one, so I might as well just do them all. I went through and updated them all, and my GP jumped. I jumped above 10k for that.
Yeah. What about you, the Big Bam? What is your strategy with GP? Has it been to build your vehicles only for team events, or has it been just to build?
To be honest, I just upgrade my GP for whatever adventure record I'm trying to get.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, it's interesting. I suppose the real question, let me ask this of everybody, we'll take it in turns to answer, but what is their favourite aspect of the game? And I'll have 3 different sections. So one is adventure wholly and solely, one is cups, and one is team event. Pete?
Yeah, my favourite would be team events.
Team events, okay. Creeperz?
Yes.
Mine would be adventure, then team events.
Then team events. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, well,
JR?
cups still all the way.
Cups all the way. Okay. Lunatic, are you still listening?
Yep. I would say I like the team stuff the most
Team
by
events.
far. I just don't have any enthusiasm for pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing public events in the community showcase. I pretty much just enjoy doing the multiplayer things. I think the community showcase has been overlooked quite a lot. I think it's probably one of the best things I've added for a long time.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I maybe should have added that. The Big Bam, what's your favourite part?
Definitely adventure.
Adventure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kiwi?
Yeah, mine's probably adventure followed by team events.
Team events. Okay. Because
What's
what
your
about
favourite?
Sorry,
Eva?
hang on. I've gotten to the 2 people that we haven't spoken to, and I've got one person staring at me, waving at me, asking me to ask him what is his favourite.
It's like I'm not here, and I
Sorry,
am.
Can you hear something? I can't hear anything. I definitely can't see anything.
It's because you're not on the screen. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching him read through the names, and I could see what he was doing, and it's like, have you forgotten?
Well, I forgot myself as well. So after you.
So my thing with the game is I like something where I can better myself, better the score of what I've previously done. So I don't like grinding, but I do like team events because you've got a short period of time to better yourself, so there's a challenge in that. The adventure, it takes too long to better yourself. Like you have to have been playing for 10 or 15 minutes if you've got a large score or a large distance. Yeah, Creeperz. I seriously respect.
I must admit, it didn't take me very long to better my score because I didn't have very many scores on the sports car.
Yeah, and that's the same with the tracks, the races. It's I don't actively go out and seek to improve it, but I like it when I'm racing an event and improving it. And so for me, like this update's changed my style of play to allow me to improve the sports car. So I'm getting those improvements.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like improving, and the team events is the majority of one because that's it's always happening.
Yep. So in my perspective, for me, it's always been about more the team events than anything else, and aspiring to be a better team event player, knowing that I'm not the best player, but also knowing that I can get better. But in the last couple of months, I've been playing a whole lot of adventure to try and build up my stars. I finally got to 4 million across 2 accounts.
I was about to say that's great across the accounts.
Across 2 accounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to 4 million. So yeah, just it's a slow progress. Goose, what is your favourite part of the game? Adventure, cups, or team events?
Oh, it's always been team events.
Team
It's the only thing keeping me in the game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we touched a little bit, Lunatic touched a little bit on the public events and the community events, and mentioned that the community events were kind of something that for him had made the game a bit of a changer. What's your perspective on the community events?
I can count on one hand the amount of them I've actually joined.
Right.
It's not something I've
That
really
is
gotten into.
not
I
good
just
enough.
I don't have the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah,
It's
but
good fun.
yeah, it might be. But it's with me, it's always a time. Like I play the game just as a bit of a tune out of society. Just play the game, just have a little bit of fun, and then enjoy the challenge of the team event. Grind some cups. Occasionally play a little bit of adventure. I barely play public events anymore. I just don't get the time to do it.
Okay.
I know what your true favourite part of the game is. Beating Muzz. Outscoring Muzz.
Yeah, especially with my old account. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so speaking about old accounts, and this mastery and everything else, who has an alt account?
Yes.
So just
Yes,
say your name so it's easier.
Goose.
Me.
Mori.
Pete, Goose, Eva, Mori.
Yeah. So, would you do the grind twice?
I am
No.
not grinding. What I started to grind, and I grind about maybe 20k in, and then I went, this has made me quit games when I start to grind. Like I've played lots of RPGs and adventure games, and as soon as you have to start grinding for something, that kills it for me. So I went, well, I don't actually need to grind. I am worried that because it's going to take me so long, it may impact my team event playing. But I started just playing it normally. So now I'm playing the sports car on everything. And I'm actually about the same on both.
Okay.
I'm about 20,000 ahead on my main, which is like 60,000 into the second one, and I'm about 40,000 into onto the second one.
Pete, what about you?
Yeah, I am focusing on my main at the moment, and I'm not really grinding. I'm just doing cups for about 5 or 6 cycles until I run out of free chest opens, and then I do maybe 1 or 2 adventure runs. I get a little bit bored of it because I don't do adventure very often. So yeah, I'm not really grinding per se, but I am choosing the sports car, and it's actually got me doing cups again. So that's a win on my part.
Yeah, fair enough. No, very cool. And Goose, you said no, so
Hey, could I please answer this one?
yeah.
Like with my main, my main's 12k GP. All my vehicles are max. In regarding the completion of mastery, I've opened the first part. I've opened the first slot up. I'm halfway through the second. I'm now utilizing the sports brick to do run cups, which I never would have done previously. Occasionally, I'll do a little bit of. I'll pick out a map and I'll start doing some flips and stuff with it just to get a bit more XP on it. My alt account, which is 9k GP, I only have one vehicle that is fully maxed out, and that is the Moonlander. So I can't even do mastery on my alt.
Well,
Because you haven't maxed out any vehicles. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, as I said, I've only got one maxed out vehicle, and that's the Moonlander.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think for most of the people with alts, I might be speaking out of turn, but for most of the people with alts, most of them never went past 17. You know, in terms of the tuning parts, most of them never went past 17. I only ever
Mine
I
are
stopped
18.
at 18.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
18. I stopped at.
Yeah.
The occasional one gets 19. Some parts get 20, obviously for brain. Because you need it at 20.
You need it at 20. Yeah. I mean, I went out on a little spree once with my alt because I'd reached 30 million coins, and I wasn't spending coins on anything on my alt because I wasn't updating anything, and my GP had kind of plateaued around that 10k mark. But you know, I don't have thrusters on the rally car. I don't have thrusters on the monster. I've got the parts ready there to go if I wanted to max them, but I haven't paid to max them. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Like with my alt, I only update the parts that are needed for team events.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I built my alt the same way. It was okay. I need the monster truck for this team event. Okay, I've got the monster truck. What parts do I need? Okay, I'll improve those parts. That's it. Do the run. I won't use the monster truck until the next team event that calls for it. And then if it needs something different, by that stage I would have had more scrap that I could update whatever part I needed at the time. And that's what got me to 10k GP without too much trouble. I mean, over 3 years. But I've always been on teams with my alt that were doing well in team events and getting maximum rewards. So you know, I've been on some pretty good teams doing that. So it's been a really good way of building that GP with that.
And the rewards really do make a difference.
Yeah, they do. Especially, and people talk a lot about, you know, the weekly cup, the weekly chest, and
Team chest.
Yeah, the weekly chest. And to be honest, the weekly chest pales in comparison to, you know, finishing a team event, you know, with 3,000 cup points, and you know, being on the winning team. You know, the rewards you get for that are worth more than a weekly chest. You know, in terms of 3 or 4 matches in a week.
You know, if only someone had spoken about in a podcast.
You really think people would have listened?
And also on that, actually doing the kilometers yourself also gets more than what you would on a team chest.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
So you know, doing the cup runs, doing the adventure runs with the chests and all that sort of stuff to make the team chest even better. You know, you're improving the team chest, but you're also improving your own GP anyway, or the possibility of building your own GP. So, I suppose I'm just trying to think, what else can we talk about?
So okay, this is a question. So we've already spoken about like the people who are started off and they're at where they are. Now you guys have finished. We've got more vehicles coming up. Are you going to do the same thing again for those vehicles?
Damn, I wasn't hoping. I was hoping you weren't going to ask that.
Can I answer first?
Sure.
Go for it.
Actually, I can't be bothered. With the sports car alone, okay? With the sports car alone, I am at 7,400 XP.
On the first run.
Yeah. I tried it. I am not a fan of it. I am happy with 3 parts and, you know, can't be bothered aiming for the 4th part.
Are you waiting for a specific vehicle to be unlocked for mastery?
Maybe if it will unlock for the rally car.
Yeah.
Well,
and I wouldn't even bother trying if it's the Moonlander or the Monowheel.
Well,
just to be straightforward with my answer, I will not.
I mean,
that's
I'm
fine.
only at 2,800 XP on the first level of this sports car mastery.
Yep.
I just have not even bothered trying at all.
Okay. And would you try
Are
for the
you-
Moonlander though?
I don't know. I feel like I'd probably use the Moonlander more than the sports car. So there's a chance that I would try it a bit, but I feel like it'd be so much harder to get XP because the main way you do it with sports car is by quickly doing lots of flips, but with the Moonlander, quite
with
slow.
no jump shocks on the Moonlander.
This is a question for DeBell. He'd be
Yeah.
able to say,
On the
I know
Moonlander-
exactly what one I'd do it on. And this is, I've already got it planned, and as soon as it comes out, I'll have it.
Yeah. I mean,
You
look,
should've got to-
the Moon.
I just want to put a question out to everybody. What is the vehicle you're looking forward to the most for mastery?
Moonlander.
I'll start with Eva.
That's a really tough question because I mean, Eva was all about all the vehicles, so I've always enjoyed all the vehicles. And you know, there's not one car that sticks out that says I wished it was buffed. And even the sports car, I whether it was buffed or not, I still probably wouldn't play it. So and I could easily say that the sports car is not my favorite vehicle, but I think a fourth part on the monowheel would be really interesting, and I think the fact they've done this with the racing truck is a detuned rock bouncer. In terms of its dynamics and the way it plays, the racing truck is, a slightly detuned rock bouncer. So if they're going to tune the if they're going to tune the racing truck to have less drag in the air and a few other bits and pieces and make it a bit buffed, is it going to be a better rock bouncer? Or is the rock bouncer going to be a better racing truck? So, and in saying that, I think the car I want it most on is probably the Banana, the Rotator, because I think the Rotator has always been a vehicle which, if you played with the tunes and you got it just right, it used to fly. It still does. But understanding that the tuning is so important with the Rotator, that it can make or break a run, and there's a few different ways of making the Rotator go fast. And I suppose the part that I like the most about it is it doesn't involve jump shocks. So
yeah, I couldn't imagine a Rotator with jump shocks. That'd be horrendous.
Because it has a little bit of jump shock in it already. But so I suppose for me it is the Rotator. But in saying that, the rock bouncer is kind of a better Rotator and a better racing truck, but has its own little foibles as well. I really like the rock bouncer because it's a mixture of three vehicles they've already got, and some of the best parts of all of them. But I think the Rotator with a buff would be better than the rock bouncer currently. But in saying that, then they'd buff the rock bouncer. Sorry.
So you're locking in rock bouncer or Rotator?
Sorry.
Every vehicle available.
Every vehicle available.
So how are you going to choose? So how are you going to choose with when? So say tomorrow they unlocked everything to be, you can choose mastery. So you have to focus on. Are you going to focus on one, or are you going to try and do?
I would focus on the ones that I want only, and that would be most likely the Rotator to start with, because I think the Rotator with 4 parts would be awesome.
Well, see, the Rotator doesn't. See, the team events is something I enjoy. I'd be looking at what vehicle gets a lot of team event stuff. The muscle car tends to get a lot, and for me, that would be an amazing car, because it's already an amazing car right now. Like you look at what was the current public event, the one, the 2K run.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I mean, pretty much everyone chooses the muscle car for that. Like it is great.
Mm.
And having a fourth part on that would just make it amazing.
Amazing, even more amazing. But I look at it from a fun perspective of playing the game. And this is where I was getting at with whether you liked adventure cups or team events.
Don't you want your car to have superpowers? The muscle car with the fourth part would have superpowers.
It would, but there's no, like, it's like having a drag race in a car with a kid on a bike and beating him and going, I'm so great because I beat you in a car. There's nothing amazing about it, right? There's nothing amazing about it. You can look back and go, I beat a kid on a bike and he was going to the park and I was going that way. But nothing about that makes you feel any better. But being able to beat someone in the muscle car with the rotator, with the extra part, would be very cool. And that would make me want to play the rotator more. Does that
Except you'd be playing against people who have got the muscle car buffed while you have the rotator buffed. And you're back to square one again.
Well, I'm back to square one again. But I'm still going to say the rotator. Sorry, my final answer, the rotator.
Excellent. All right, let's move to the next person. Mori, what would you be looking forward to?
I already said the muscle car. And I think if it was opened up tomorrow, then that would be the vehicle I would look at. Just because at the moment that's my favorite vehicle. Yeah. Like I would have said the rally car, and then I would have said for a while there I was using the superbike, and then I would have said the rotator. And there's it depends on what I'm doing. However, at the moment, my bulk play is on the muscle car.
What's your thoughts on the rock bouncer though?
I enjoy the rock bouncer, but it's not something that I play as much.
Okay. All right.
Creeperz, what's the vehicle you're looking forward to?
I'm gonna say something different here. Probably the EV.
Oh.
A CCEV.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That in a sense, that's already got 4 parts because the electric boost is very similar to the nitro.
Yeah, in some ways it does. Yeah, so the EV would be one of my favourite vehicles, and one of the few, I guess, negatives is its top speed on its own is not that quick, in comparison to many other vehicles.
Yep.
It'll be great for, especially adventure. It's already great for adventure, but adding a fourth part, so either wheelie boost maybe or coin boost, it'd be so much more fun to use.
Kanga and wheelie, or would you do something else? As an
Either Kanga plus wheelie or coin boost.
Yeah, that's what
And that
I'd
would
probably go coin
be
boost.
good. Yeah, not just for adventure, but everything in the game, like cups as well. Great for time trials.
I feel like with EV in adventure, the kangaroo setup on it's already so powerful that I don't know if a new part on that would benefit it much more than how strong it already is.
Okay. So you don't think that the coin boost would add any extra speed?
Well, as it's so powerful already, maybe the difference won't be as much as we think it would be. But I still think I just love the coin boost, and if you're already at speed, the speed you get from collecting coins, it's so satisfying.
Yeah. How about you, Goose? What would your favourite be that you look forward to?
Well, I can't really say that I've got a favourite. I mean, I can say which are my least favourites. i.e.
No, I'm
mono-wheel.
asking for your favourite.
Yeah, that wasn't the question,
Okay.
Goose. Were you listening?
Yeah, right.
Well, what you could do
Yeah, like,
is tell
you
us.
know, I'm actually...
You could,
Okay, I remember when I first started playing the game, I thought the buggy was the bee's knees of everything. I love the buggy, love the speed you could get with it once you went through from the hill climber, back in those days, the Jeep Mark II. And then you got to the sports car, which is the fastest car that Bill had. But I had the Jeep, and the Jeep was really, really good. Then I progressed to the rally and thought, oh, this is absolutely awesome. Then after that, I started upgrading the monster truck. That became a lot of fun. I've had phases where I've used the rally a lot. I've used the hot rod a lot. I've used the muscle car a lot. I've used the banana a lot. As to, like, effectively, you're going for a car that is quick, that can do what you want it to do. If you're running cups, which I have run more of than anything else, you would just want something that's going to get you to the end pretty quickly. But essentially, with adding a fourth part to all the vehicles, eventually all the cars are going to be buffed. So it just takes them up another notch from where they are, which means everything's just going to go that little bit quicker. But as to picking one, I really can't just pick one.
I'll tell you what.
No, that was the question. You needed to pick one.
If you tell us the 27 that you don't like,
yeah, you said you could tell us.
Then you can tell us. We'll work out the one you do like from the 27 you don't like. So which other ones don't you like? I'll cross them off the list.
Because what's going to happen is we're going to be going through further questions where it's like, oh, well, what vehicle would be, this one? And we'll have to go through this with Goose again. So let's not start that.
I see a lot of potential. Okay, I see a lot of potential in the hover bike, in regarding what it can do and how quick it can be. That looks like it's going to be a fun vehicle to use. So is the rock bouncer. It has its potential. As an overall, as I said, I go through phases. The muscle car is a very quick and easy to go to, especially now that I've finally got nitro for it. Adding a fourth part to that will probably keep it at that level that sits at above everything else.
What about the monowheel? You don't like the monowheel, do you?
I don't like the monowheel
And the
at all.
snowmobile?
No, we're not asking you everything.
Oh my god!
I am sitting here watching Eva edit
This
the screen,
snowmobile's fun on a
edit a
certain track.
screenshot.
I'll share the screenshot in a second. I've got all the vehicles up in front of me, and I'm putting.
We will invite Goose to another podcast episode just to ask on this.
I'm putting crosses through the vehicles he doesn't like.
Oh my god!
Anyway, I was just having a bit of fun.
I think what we understand is Goose will not answer this question.
I don't have a specific vehicle that I like more than anything else.
We get it. We get it.
So
okay, so we're going with the hover bike. All right, next person.
Yes.
I've just put my screenshot in the general chat. I will share it on the podcast.
I can see it.
Jack Rabbit.
Well, okay.
Let's show Goose how it's done.
Is it my turn now?
Do you want me to get a new screenshot, JR?
No, definitely not. Okay, if the mastery is available on every vehicle, I would definitely be excited to master the rally car, of course, because I'm using it on cups every single day.
Yes.
I will grind cups. I will grind adventure. Big Bam, watch out. I will overtake your kilometer spot. And if the fourth part is available on the rally car, since I'm using it on cups with magnet, afterburner, and coin boost, I'd probably put overcharged turbo with it
Wings.
as the fourth part.
No, wings.
Yeah, I'm torn between wings or overcharged turbo.
It's Jack
It was
Rabbit's
her
question.
choice, Eva. Let her pick overcharged turbo.
It's Jack Rabbit. You can choose whatever one you want. We're not saying it's not a good choice, but
I'm just
Eva, maybe.
I'm stuffing with Mori, to be honest, because I'm watching him watch me as I start talking, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Okay. Big Bam,
Mm.
what would you be looking forward to?
I feel like since I play mostly adventure, a lot of cars don't really need a buff, but mainly Moonlander, Monowheel, and those vehicles that really struggle to get 10k I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's an interesting
Oh yeah,
perspective.
so you've gone the different approach. That's good.
It's a more practical approach.
Well, this is
Yeah.
this is why I asked about what is important to them in the game in terms of cups, and you can hear it in these responses that people who are after adventure are trying to get the cars that are hardest to get across the line. And yeah, that's coming across from Big Bam. So that's what I was expecting.
Excellent choice.
Good work.
But isn't Mastery available for the Moonlander in 1 day and 22 hours? And is it available for the Monowheel for 43 days and 22 hours? So does it mean you're going to focus on that?
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I've already got both of them maxed.
Woohoo! That's so good.
Excellent. Well, I will say my vehicle that I'm looking forward to, it would be the Super Diesel. I think that would be a very good car. It's my favourite car to Kanga, so I'm going to go Kanga with Nitro. I think that would just be the bee's knees.
And is that a vehicle you play a lot?
I do in every no fuel event. That is my go-to vehicle. Yeah, I just like Kangaroing it, and I think it'd be very good with a fourth part. Looks like we've got Kiwi back. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Rally Car, probably just because for me it's one of the vehicles that it was like I just always enjoyed using it. But I reckon for the laughs, just get the snowmobile fourth part and see what they can do.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice if you could choose the order of mastery you get. I reckon everyone would just go the fourth part and not bother with the first three.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes.
Mm.
That's what they were planning on. That they wanted that fourth part, so they're going to grind. Make that the last final.
Now, this is a
prize.
question for, I guess, everyone. What has changed in your gameplay since Mastery has come out? I mean, for me, I'm actually using the sports car. I wouldn't normally use it. And I'll keep playing it while I haven't got Mastery. Now, when the other ones come out, I'll start to look at one of the other ones and start to work through them. And I will actually pick those up and start playing with them as my default vehicle. Whereas at the moment, my default vehicle is the muscle car. Whereas I'll pick them up and start using them for everything else, and I'll just work through them, but I'm not going to grind. So for me, that's the only thing that's changed at the moment on both of them, which is why both my main and L, which is why I'm on the same. So Pete, what's changed for you?
Not a great deal, to be honest. Apart from actually using the sports car and playing cups again, nothing really much has changed.
Yeah, Eva.
Yeah.
Realistically, nothing much has changed. I still open the game on a daily basis to play my tickets. I still open the game probably on a 3-day basis to play cups.
But you said you were grinding.
I ground to get Mastery because I was curious about what it would do, and I was curious about whether it was worth my time. And I wanted to be able to report on it on this podcast. So I went hammer and tack at it to make sure I had it ready so that I could play the car with all the parts and all the buffs and get a real understanding of the car before I did this, because I didn't want to come in and say, blah, 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 I don't like it, blah, 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 I like it. I wanted to be able to say from a perspective of someone who's done the grind and used the car since, and say, yes, it was worth it. No, it wasn't. This is why not. So in that regard, yes, I played the game a fair bit while that was happening. But
So will you revert back to playing the game as you do now for the next ones, or will you go back to doing a grind for some of them?
I'll probably grind. I'll probably grind for the Moonlander because I like the idea of it being able to land as the
So
capture
that's the
one.
next one. So
That's the
you've
next
now
one.
said you're going to do the first one and the second one.
one.
So I'm
But-
getting a pattern here.
No, I will not. I will not do. Hand on my heart here. I will not do the monowheel.
Monowheel.
Just no reason to do the monowheel.
There's every reason because mono wars.
Yeah, that's fine. And will I ever be anywhere near as good as any of the other monowheel players? Hell no. So whether I've got 4 parts, 5 parts, 10 parts, I will never beat them. I mean, the one of the buffs on that is the cage that protects your head. Do I want to, do I want to grind for a cage to protect my head? No.
Hang on, has the monowheel got a roll cage?
No, it doesn't. But one of the
No.
buffs will
Oh.
give it a roll cage.
I haven't seen what the other buffs
Really?
are.
Yes.
I did not know that.
I
I thought they'd just be all the same.
No, it was somewhere in the video, I think. In the Fingersoft video, they talked about what the buffs were going to be, and one of them was the monowheel was going to have a cage.
Like a helmet.
Is that going to be like a absorbing bubble?
Yeah, like a absorbing bubble, very similar to what I think. I don't know. I think it was going to be similar to what's on the hover bike.
Yeah, right.
But
Interesting.
Okay, so JR, has your gameplay changed, or will it change for this update?
It has not changed anything. To be honest, I haven't been playing like I used to. I barely make 50 kilometers in a week. And I tried out the update, and it said, I remember that before the update came out, that this is a new aspect in the game for like the maximum GP players, to make them play, to have to for them to have something to do in the game. I am at 11,000 GP, but I'm not really looking forward to mastery unless maybe it will be available on my favorite car. And I would just like to share something actually from a player that was part of Team 3, and it had an effect. This update, the mastery had a negative, well, I wouldn't say negative, but I will quote his words. Okay, his name is AN Boss, and I would like to quote his words. He said, "After seeing the car mastery thing, I have lost all motivation to play this game. You have to dedicate many hours to grinding or spend money to be competitive." And with that words, he left Team 3. He thanked us all for spending time in Team 3. He left Team 3 and he left the AUSNZ server. So
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a population of players in the game that, that had this effect to their
I think
gameplay.
there will be players like this.
Mm.
But in terms of
Mhm.
like, I guess that's his one. But for you, it's not going to change anything. You're not going to increase or decrease your playing other than what you're naturally doing.
Nothing to increase or nothing
Yeah.
to decrease, unless it will be on the rally car.
Yeah. And Creeperz?
Has a little bit. For starters, I've been using the sports car more in the last week than I have in probably the last 3 years.
Oh, so after you got mastery, did you continue to use it?
Yeah, I have, and I plan to continue using the sports car for the time being, like experimenting with the fourth part, like working out different combinations And when it eventually comes out for the mono wheel, I'm gonna give it a good go at grinding it out, like trying to get that fourth part. But really, nothing, not a lot has changed other than I'm just grinding a lot more.
But your idea of why you'd want to do that with the mono is so then you can get better adventure tracks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Lunatic?
Yeah, go. Who's next? Luna.
Oh, sorry. Wait. So what? What was the question
What's
again?
changed since this update for you for your gameplay?
To be honest, nothing really. I've just been kind of doing the same things. I never really did very much apart from team event and public event and stuff like that. So it's kind of just been the same because there hasn't really been that much to do with sports car or anything like that since the update team event wise. And
Yeah, there hasn't been, has there?
no,
I thought they would have by now.
yeah, but I've heard there's a couple. There's two quite. There's two sides to the mastery thing. It's good in the way that it'll give the experienced people a lot more room to progress and to get a better account. But then for the competitive people and the team events and stuff like that, it's not the kind of thing that really you don't really get the mastery levels naturally because you have to go out of your way to get them because it's quite a big grind, and so that'll be like the AUSNZ one team, the people on there, like most of them don't grind all that much, and all the other teams in CC, like the Supreme and stuff like that, they all play a lot more, and so I think the teams like that will have a much bigger advantage on teams like AUSNZ.
I think there will be a bigger divide between the top teams. It'll increase it more because the top teams will, in order to progress, they'll need to all have mastery on every vehicle. Yeah, but so nothing's really changing for you. So I guess what about the Big Bam?
Yeah, not that much really changes for me either.
Yeah, well, because
I mean, I'll try to get it on vehicles I like, but I'm just gonna play the game like I usually would.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the biggest fan?
Yeah, like I think for me it's now just a grind of understanding relearning how to use the sports car, and then just seeing what I can do with the sports car, with the new motivation to get first of all the fourth part, and also get all my other vehicles up and running to the 420s is priority for me right now.
Yep.
Fair call. Fair call. Now, Goose, did you like or dislike the I'm waiting for Mori to slap me.
Going back to that.
Sorry.
Still checking off that list.
Yeah, just checking off the list, making sure I've checked it twice. No,
It's not Christmas.
it's not Christmas. No, I'm just trying to have a bit of fun.
Mhm.
All right. Pete, do
Can I
you?
just talk about one thing I
Yeah.
did notice in the game?
Yep.
Have you guys noticed that when you go to a vehicle and then you select parts, if you have the scrapper that has completed scrapping, it goes straight to there instead of selecting parts.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, I did
I hadn't
notice that.
noticed that.
I wonder when
Yeah,
that came
it
out.
confused me. I think it was just this recent update that's changed.
Well, with,
Yeah, I'm
Confused me
so
the first
used
time
to
round.
going to like part selection, realize that my
Mhm.
scrapper is full. It'll go straight to the scrapper, and I'm worried that one day I'm going
Yeah,
to misclick and accidentally scrap
grab a
a
legendary
legendary part.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if I was the only one who noticed that because I haven't seen anyone talk about it yet.
Yeah, I'm glad someone else has noticed it too.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Eva?
I was just going to say, was there anything else you had to add? I didn't want to. I didn't want to go on and on and on about this, so I just wanted to see if there was anything that you might have added for a different perspective.
Yeah, so we've gone through the mastery, we've gone through collecting chests for win or loss in cups. I don't know if there's anything else that we have missed.
Just to ask everyone quickly, is it a very good
Yep.
update or just a fair update? Mori?
I'm still on the fence about it. I'm the update of mastery.
That's not what she asked,
No,
Mori.
because it's just the sports car. It's good in that respect, but I can see it becoming quite laborious with all the cars having to be to go through mastery, and so that. But it's still early days, and like given that this is the first update, and there's going to be more updates before then, I'm hoping that there's changes that make it more playable and more enjoyable to get mastery, because at the moment the only way to get it is really to grind a vehicle, and if you don't do that, you're not going to get it upgraded in any time soon. And so for me, it is a good update. I am enjoying it as a whole. But if it keeps like this, and the next updates don't change, then I don't know how I'd feel about those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Eva, your thoughts?
On the whole, I think the positives that we've spoken about in terms of the ticket removals for the hard tracks and all the other bits and pieces make the game a bit more enjoyable. Free cups, whether you come first or last. They've made the game more grindable for people building GP. And in the same token, they've also made it a harder game for people to complete. And I think the thing for me that's always going to kind of grind my gears a little bit is that with every single update where there's a new currency, newer players that are coming along who are playing the game from the start have the opportunity to build these currencies as they're playing, whereas the top GP players who have been playing the game for years and years now all of a sudden have to start building blueprint coins and all the other stuff. But in saying that, I think in the general whole they've probably made the game a little bit better, but I think they've also made the game probably even harder again. And I remember asking for team events to be harder, and I thought it was a good idea to make the team events harder and more of a challenge. And when that happened and everybody complained, I was probably the only guy saying bring it on because I really liked it. So yeah, I suppose I've been the one asking for a harder game, and they've given us a harder game, and we've kind of complained about it.
Mhm. How about you, Pete?
I really want to know if Goose likes the mono wheel or not.
He doesn't like any vehicle.
Yeah,
Now we
it has
know.
been a good update for me, I think, because it's as I said before, it's got me playing the sports car more, got me back into cups again. Unlocked the difficult maps in adventure, which is nice. Yeah, there's been a lot more positives than there has been negatives. So overall, it's been a good update.
Yeah, good. Creeperz, what about you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it at the moment. Like this update, it's got me playing the game a lot more again. It's got me doing cups again. And yeah, I'm enjoying, I guess I enjoy the grind and like the slow.
No, you play adventure and you've got so many stars. You do enjoy the grind.
It really depends on what I do. Like adventure,
You're
yeah, I can do like 1 or 2 runs like per map or per vehicle, and then yeah, I'll need to change map or vehicle. I might do some cups to level up, a few team event tickets. But yeah, overall, it's definitely got me playing a lot more. Like, my only concern, though, is as more and more vehicles are added, mastery is added for more vehicles, that if the same pace of XP, like the same, if you earn XP at the same pace as you are now, I feel like it's going to probably push a lot of people over the edge. So they may need to adjust like the rate at which you earn XP in the future, like when more vehicles get added.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so then it's not such a grind for like the casual player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was
What
hoping.
about,
Yeah, go on.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm going to ask Goose. Do you think this is a very good update or just fair?
I personally believe it's just a fair update. However, I do think it's going to show, and I think Luna touched on it earlier, is if you're a grinder or you're in the upper echelon where you do grind a lot and you need to stay in that level, it's going to create a big gap between the casual player and the really serious player, where the serious player has to have the 4th part, especially once that vehicle starts getting used in team events. As a casual player, the 4th part, you're going to get it or you're not. Is it worth the grind? How much time do you have to grind? But to be competitive, you're going to need that part. So it's forcing you to grind on the game whether you want to or not.
And as a male
Yeah, that's a
escort,
good point.
is grinding something you want to do?
It comes part and parcel with what I do every day.
Let's ask Lunatic.
I've just worked out what Goose is going to look forward to. The scooter.
What? Okay. What is it?
Scooter.
Oh, the scooter's fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Being a male escort, he is
Mhm.
driving that every day. So you will get
Yeah.
XP real fast.
And the wheelie boost on it is awesome.
I bet it is. Just in
Does
case
it help you
anybody
deliver
doesn't know,
mail faster?
he is a postman. That's why he's a male escort. Just in case
Okay.
anyone was wondering.
Going back to the question, Luna, are you here?
Yep.
Is it a very good update or just fair?
I think it's a pretty good update. I think it helps the good players have something to go after, and then it doesn't really. I feel like the only people that are really against it are the people that just don't have an open mind towards these kind of things. Like if they really think about it, they'll probably find that it's a good opportunity to get new records and to do things like that.
Mhm. And what about Big Bam? What do you think of the update?
I feel like for me it's going to be quite fun, but I get how other players might not like it because of their records or something.
Mhm.
I'm going to
And
enjoy getting the
yeah,
masteries and playing with them. The only real
yeah.
issue for me is the price tag of 1,000,000 coins.
Well, yeah, right? Because at the 6,000 GP, how many coins do you have right now?
Maybe 70,000.
70. And 4 million for each mastery, for each vehicle.
It's not going to happen for all of them.
Wow, that was actually something I'd forgotten about, because on my Elton, my main, I've got plenty of coins, and I didn't think of that, because a player starting up, what's going to happen is you're
Yeah.
already spending 1,000,000 coins to max out a vehicle, because the top coins 240,000 coins to get the max part. So you've then spent 1,000,000 just to get it, and now you got to do the grind to get it. So it is going to be unobtainable.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's gonna be a little bit difficult for some, definitely.
Yeah.
And
I
Kiwi,
can't
what
really.
about you?
For like personally, I reckon it's a good up. Like it is a bit confusing how some of it works. Some of the newer players can get
Mm-hmm.
confused. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of the more junior people currently in the podcast, so yeah, like it can be a bit confusing, but then it's just like trying to figure things out and figure out how it
Yeah.
impacts me.
Yeah. See where it takes you. Yeah. I think it's just a good update because I know other players would appreciate it because I know that many players have been asking for the fourth part in the Fingersoft server, right in the suggestions channel. This has been asked for some time by a number of players. So now that it's here, we were not expecting that we would be grinding XP. We will be spending millions of coins. So yeah, I think some are enjoying it, some are not so really enjoying it, but I'm okay with it.
An interesting
Did we ask
story
Luna?
about
Did we
the
ask
fourth
Lunatic
part.
yet?
I've asked Luna, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Creepers, you were saying?
An interesting story about the fourth part. So
Mhm.
about 4 or so years ago, I put a suggestion in the Fingersoft server about
Yeah.
having a public event, like where we could have 4 parts, like
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it will be crazy OP.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it wasn't long after that, maybe the next 6 months or year, we got public event where we started off with nothing and we collect the parts along the way.
I remember that.
Mhm.
That was a good, fun public
Mhm.
event.
Yeah, I like that event. And
Mhm.
yeah, we did that for 2 years or however long. And yeah, I'm very surprised that the fourth part was added, or like the fourth part like could be obtained now.
Mhm.
It's almost like I was psychic.
A question of both Eva and Creeperz, who have both already got the fourth part. How is your
And
gem
Mori.
stash at the end? Mori doesn't have the fourth part yet.
Oh, don't you?
Anyway,
I thought he did.
how is your gem stash going after adding the 100 to double your XP every time?
I had shit. Gems were almost depleted on the main, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah.
And for you, Creeperz?
Mine's largely unchanged. Like I've spent a little bit on the double XP, and maybe 300 or 400 gems, but most of the time I've just been going at the normal pace.
And I suppose that's the difference. It took me probably half the amount of time that it took you because I did half as much grinding.
Because that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's another currency that you're basically being forced to spend just to increase your GP.
Well, no, it's not increasing GP.
Oh, it's increasing the mastery. It's giving the extra part.
Well, it is, but it's not increasing GP. It's just increasing a completeness of the game because the mastery isn't being recorded in GP. It's just being it's a car buff and the fourth part. So
Okay, sorry, that was probably my
yeah,
poor
no,
explanation.
yeah, no. But I see what you're saying, and like you're using gems as a currency to build XP as a currency. So then you
Yes.
can buy the
Mhm.
mastery. I see, and I've said this
Mhm.
every single time there's a new currency in the game. It's another one of the currencies that's like, oh god, I've got to do all this stuff to build currency that I could have been building while I was playing the game before it started. And that's my perspective of these extra currencies that appear.
Because originally it starts off as just coins, then there was gems. Now there's XP.
I'm not allowed to play with currency.
We've been going for probably an hour and 3/4. I'm kind of thinking we've kind of done a fair bit. We've covered a fair bit. But okay, I think we'll do one last vote. Anybody who thinks it was good, give me a yes. Anybody who thinks it was bad, say nothing.
Everyone, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
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 So that's okay. So now, if nothing changes, and this goes through every vehicle like this, is it still a yes?
I think, on my perspective, it'll be a yes for the vehicles I want to update.
For me, it'd be a no.
I think it's going to make it an incredibly long game to get to the end of, especially if
Mhm.
your aim is to get to maximum GP and maximum mastery.
Mhm.
Who's going to play the game for that long?
Yeah. Max GP for me has never been. It's always been fun to say, "Oh, max GP," but with Nitro and all the other things they've added in the last couple of updates, like the bloody rear spoiler, and a few other things they've done. I mean, Nitro has become the part you have to win, but yeah, I don't know. Max GP is no longer as big a thing for me anymore, and the mastery's given me something to spend some coins on, but it really hasn't changed the way I play the game.
I think you're also going to find that with team events, you're going to be somebody who's done the grind and got the mastery with the fourth part is going to obliterate anybody else who's stuck on 3 parts. Because that fourth part's going to make a big difference, as you've already discovered.
You think of like a no fuel Kanga. If you were doing that,
yeah, pretty much.
If you were doing that, unless you're getting 15k, so unless you're the top players and you can get 15k on the current setup, having that fuel boost or a coin boost to just give you that little bit of a push further, so that on that last landing, it goes, you're running out of fuel and you just get a massive launch. It would make a difference.
Okay. What about your time attacks? Say you're doing the current one where it's a trick time attack. You're adding...
Yeah, definitely. A trip time attack will definitely, adding a part will help.
Will make a massive difference, because all of a sudden you've got wings, flip boost, air control, and whether
Nitro
it be...
or wind boost.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to make a massive difference to the overall score.
And Mori was touching on that before. I think he touched on it, but didn't really extrapolate
I guess,
whole lot.
like you think about it. People like Voco. We watch his videos. We watch that already. He's doing. He used to do 2 videos. So he would do a video on with max parts, all the components, all the parts, and he would do that. Then he would also do a low GP one. And then,
but his low GP one was also done with max vehicles, though.
No, but he also did, but he lowered it. So he's doing a 2 type of vehicles. Then he also started introducing one without nitro. and now he does occasionally one with, like, if the hover bike is in it, he'll do one with that. So now what's going to happen is he'll do one with the max parts and without the max part, without 4 parts, 4 slots. So that's touching on the complexity of the game already. It used to be one video that they were doing because no one had max parts. It was just, this is what you get. And then as it started to differ, so then it was bridging that gap. And for me, these guys are the sort of litmus test to show, well, they're going to be doing these type of videos in order to, because there's going to be a demand for them, where people aren't going to have those parts and they're going to want to know how they could do it. And already there's a demand for it, for not having the hover bike,
Not having nitro.
And so, you already start to see that. And so what's going to happen, it'll be, if you've got no max parts on these vehicles, you haven't got the 4 parts. So therefore I'll do a video on that. And so that.
Okay, to go back a little bit further, to go back a little bit further, I remember watching a YouTube video years and years ago. I think it was EO and IO what put it out, and it was maximum main parts versus max parts, where the benefit from having max parts was so much greater than actually having a maximum vehicle.
Yeah, and
now it's gone back to having a max vehicle where you can get mastery.
Yeah, but max parts over max vehicle, even with mastery, max parts is still going to win.
Yeah, but now you need 4 parts.
Yeah, and then you've got 4 parts. But see, I think the buffs aren't as big as they are. I don't think the buffs are going to be as strong as having the 4th part is going to be.
But I think these guys are going to they're going to be running videos or producing videos without them because it will make a difference.
Yeah.
And it's at that top level, it's a small difference, but it's still a difference.
Well, and we were touching on this before. Me and Mori were touching on this before. The difference, because the scores now are 15k and they're exponential at the last section. Another 3 or 4 meters could be the difference between 9,000 and 10,000.
Yep.
So 3 or 4 meters could be having coin boost on, as we've discussed, and that coin boost getting you to to get to the next bit of hill, which gets you down the next bit, that gets you the next 10,000 or 2,000 points in a cup level. And at the high end, in the top 10, top 15 teams, that difference is going to be needed to win matches. And in Division 1 and below, it's going to be not so needed. And the question, I suppose, is who wants to be in one of the top 10 teams in the world in CC, and who doesn't?
Not me.
I don't think anyone here is.
Yeah.
It's just
Except
it's a
for
lot of
maybe
work.
Hype.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. No, it
It
is.
is, the higher you're up, it is the more work it is.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, can attest to that.
Yep. All right. Well, look, on that note, I'd like to say a big thank you for everybody spending some time with us and discussing this at length and giving your opinion and voice. We've really appreciated having a mixture of players on the podcast to talk about this, to pass over your opinion. And we are hoping that Fingersoft are listening and understanding that we love the update, but we don't love the update. We enjoy the update, but we don't enjoy the update. And that, you've done some stuff that we really like, but we think it might be tough on some of the other vehicles. So have mercy on us, please.
I can't believe we've gotten through a podcast without actually having Never Have I Ever.
Never have I ever done the Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
No.
There was another episode that we didn't do it. The top 50.
I think we can add that question. Never have I ever mastered a vehicle.
So, so what about Tank?
No, Goose. Don't. No. Just stop, Eva. Stop.
Oh, it's just I'm having fun with Mori. It's fun. It's hilarious. Anyway, on that note, I want to say thank you for everybody. I really appreciate the Big Bam and Kiwi coming on because your perspectives from the low GP players who are, trying to gain and move into the game is very valuable to us. We really appreciate your time.
Yes, definitely.
And to Creeperz for coming back on and Goose coming back on. Really appreciate your perspectives as well because Creeperz as a big adventure player and Goose as a really good player.
Indecisive.
But also with alts and all that sort of stuff, you brought a big perspective to the game as well. A big thanks to Mori for driving down and sitting next to me and making me laugh in ways that I haven't laughed before. Really appreciate you being here and really appreciate being able to do this with you guys. To Lunatic for coming in as well. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate your perspective and thanks for pointing out the fact that the public events and the community challenge is a really good part of the game as well. So I really appreciate that. To Pete and JR, you two, love your work. Really appreciate all the work we've been doing in the background to get this all together. We are going to be doing this with some very elite players soon. Keep your eyes peeled. We will be doing this again with a couple of players from Europe. So it's going to be a very big cast of people. That's all I'm going to say about it. But there's been a whole lot of scrambling in the background by JR and Pete, and I'm really appreciative of all the work you've put in. Even to get this one together has been amazing. So,
oh, that's beautiful, Eva.
You're very welcome.
Do you want to get married?
Mori is just jealous that he has to go home now. No, I really appreciate everything that's been going on in the background because it's like watching a duck go across the water. You see the final product of the duck going across the water, but you don't see the feet running around underneath.
I was wondering where that was going.
Me too. I was thinking more about a goose on water.
Well, goose on water is the same. Hey, speaking of water and goose, what about
no? But I do want to know about the
Annie's gone.
On that note,
we just lost Goose. He's gone.
On that note,
here we go.
He's back. On that note, thank you everybody. Have a lovely night. I'm going to look forward to editing this. It'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you're still listening to this, please like and subscribe our podcast. We really appreciate all you listeners coming in and asking us questions and all that sort of stuff. Not for this one, obviously, and possibly not for the next one, but I really look forward to the next one, and I'm sure you guys will be thrilled to hear who we have on. So thanks very much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.